Hey there, my name is Decoy Dix, and today I'm going to show you about FeelsChat, which is a Twitch extension that I developed to give streamers a quick at-a-glance view about their chat and sentiment analysis and a few other things. I'll walk through the installation, we'll go through the UI a little bit, and then I'll talk a little bit about the architecture of the application. So installation is pretty simple, and that's on purpose. I didn't want to have to mess anything with streamers having to add any Chrome extensions or OBS plugins or anything like that. It really just wanted to be as plug and play as possible. Quite literally, just download the extension, you'll go into your live dashboard, and then you'll enable the extension, and it will be up. So we are in testing mode here. Right now we're actually listening to Tim the Tatman's chat. And normally this bar is going to track your timed interval. The way that the application works is it will read your chat for a timed interval, and then at the end of every interval it will send that chat for analysis. And this bar will track how long before the next interval will be triggered. So for testing purposes, this is only set to 30 seconds. The current production value is 2 minutes, and the reason that we're going with 2 minutes is so that we can collect as much information as possible so we can really get a good feel for chat sentiment and some few other features. In the future that will be configurable, but for the current iteration it is 2 minutes. So we'll go through the cards here and the different analysis being performed. So the first card here is chat sentiment, and this is kind of the big driver of the application. So the sentiment is being performed by Amazon's Comprehend natural language processing engine. So quite a bit of machine learning power behind that, thanks to the folks over at Amazon. Essentially, you get an emoji here that's going to represent the sentiment of the last interval, some text as well with that. Right now I'm using the Twitch Turbo emotes, and in the future this will be a configurable part of the application so that streamers can choose whatever emote set that they want to represent the sentiment of their chat. Here at the bottom we have a simple line graph, and in this line graph is going to represent sentiment over time. So this is based off of positivity score. So essentially what the positivity score is for every interval it's the percentage of chat sentiment that was positive. So the higher the line, the more positive the chat, and obviously your dips are going to be your negativity. The 4 sentiments that we're going to get back from that comprehend engine are going to be positive, negative, neutral, and mixed. Neutral and mixed will be right in the middle of the graph. The next section that we have here is profanity percentage. So profanity percentage is the number of analyzed chat lines that contain profanity. So emotes are excluded from that, but everything else is fair game. We're using it's a text match profanity filter, so it's based off of some profanity filters that you would see in some other web applications. Pretty simple analysis, but it is pretty effective. The last card, we've got 2 pieces of analysis here. One is repeated lines. So repeated lines is the number of chat lines that are considered repeats, and that's an overall view, as well as emote spam. So for all the pieces of analysis, emotes are excluded. Emote spam is going to be any chat line that is only emotes and contains more than one emote. That's going to be counted as emote spam here, and that will go against the total number of chat lines that were analyzed, including emote spam lines. That way the streamer can get a pretty good holistic view about how things are going. So this view is what the streamer will see. The view for the viewer, or the view that sits in the panel, is extremely similar. The only thing that's different is that you don't get this polling interval here. And this view is actually doing the work. So if the streamer does not have this enabled on the dashboard, then the panel will not receive information. So the panel itself, right down here, so this is using Twitch's pub sub system, so all I have to do is wait for the next polling interval and I'll get the most recent information. That way no one viewer is going to be that far out of sync. So if you see 165, 1158, and 1986, and if we go back here, we see the same information. It is being pushed out across all clients, so any connected client at an interval will get the same information. The architecture of the application, since this was an AWS challenge, I used as much AWS as possible. At every polling interval, all I'm doing is I'm taking that chat information and I'm making a post, so that information is pulled out of state. I am using React on the front end. That post is going through into AWS through an API gateway, which is being connected to a Lambda. The Lambda is then making an API call to Amazon Comprehend for the sentiment analysis, as well as splitting off the profanity and emote spam and repeated lines and doing that analysis as well. Then putting it together in a nice little package and sending that through the pub subsystem back to the channel. Security wise, I am verifying the JOT here, as well as I'm pulling things like the client ID and the channel ID out of the web token. And that channel ID is being used to push down into the pub subsystem. Additionally, I am logging everything in CloudWatch, which is just native with AWS and Lambda. Additionally, I am saving all those requests in a DynamoDB, which is kind of a little bit about the future of this application. So, I did mention a few configuration items that would be part of the future, but I think the real power of this application in the future is the persistence of sentiment information over time. So the idea would be to track this in a strong format, and as well track events that happen in the chat. So being able to show streamers changes in sentiment based off of raids or hosts, or even changes in game, days of the week. That information could be invaluable to them to get a feel for how their chat is reacting to things that they're doing. And I think that information could be very valuable to streamers and Twitch alike. So I appreciate you taking the time to look at my extension, and thank you very much.